Welcome back to the Modern Builders Network. We're the official Olsons. I'm Brian.
And I'm Robin Joy.
And this is Coach's Corner.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how's it going, Robin?
It's going well.
You got a hot date tonight?
I thought I did, but the person I thought I had a hot date with is sitting here in a hoodie right now, and I'm not going to dinner with him.
Well, you know, this is one of the downsides of being a woman. You have to get ready in advance because we don't have time after this, and I can just go swap shirts, basically.
Okay, not making me happier, but okay, yeah. All right, well, we're going out to celebrate.
And I've been cold all day. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be a record high tomorrow, but today, this is the joys of living in Colorado, where you're like from 34 to 80 overnight.
Overnight, yes. Yeah, it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's damp. I mean, we're actually seeing a little bit of rain today, as much as we usually see around here.
Right.
So that's probably part of it. Well.
So you're saying we're going out to dinner?
We're going out to dinner to celebrate our 32 years.
32.
Yeah. It was actually Wednesday, but we're going out to dinner tonight to celebrate.
Yep.
So hopefully you're going to change clothes.
I will change clothes, yes.
I'll go by myself.
Yep.
All right, what are we talking about today? Let's get into it.
Well, I think you're the one leading this one off.
All right. We have, Brian, more information, more experience, and more access than anyone ever, any other entrepreneur ever in history.
I know.
Right?
It's an amazing time to be alive, isn't it?
Yeah. So why does it feel like we're trying to push through wet concrete?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of read ahead, and so I'm just going to tell it. I'm going to sneak peek to the audience. The answer is not what you think it is.
True. Okay. All right. So today we're going to talk about information and specifically how that having more of it, having more information may not be what is helpful as you think it is.
And not just in the information, because of information overload.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It may not be the advantage that you think it is.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about experience. And there's a finding here that kind of surprised us both, and we'll share that with you.
Yeah.
And third, we're going to talk about a variable that tends to matter more than both of these two put together.
Yeah, I totally agree. The third one, I think you could forget the first two or not check the box on the first two. And the third one.
The third one maybe creates a better of the first two. Well, we'll get into it and see what you guys think.
Okay.
All right. Ahead. So there's a study. There's always a study, right? There's a study that showed the fastest moving companies feel the most urgency to go faster, right? And the slowest moving ones, they feel fine. Okay, what's that about? The trap that happens is the companies that are falling behind lack the awareness to recognize that they're falling behind, right?
I think I had a coaching session recently that may fit this bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a session sometime in the last month or so with this guy, really sharp, been doing this for a number of years, right? But he actually said something about like he felt plateaued. His revenue was fine.
That's not so unusual, right?
And his profits were good, and nothing was, systemically broken or anything like that, but somehow he was feeling stuck. So I asked him to walk me through what a typical week looks like, because I'm looking for 7 core competencies, right?
Right.
Sourcing, shopping, prepping, shipping, pricing, replenishing, and business acumen. I want to make sure he's checking all the boxes. So we go through, and he names them all off. It basically, as close as, back when we first started working together, we didn't have such a thing as the 7 core competencies. But anyway, so he walked me through how he sourced, how he's making decisions, and how he decided to move on opportunities. Okay? And the system was solid. There was really nothing wrong with it, except for this one thing. It was the exact same system that he had described to me a couple of years before. So basically, he's doing the same exact thing today as he was doing a couple of years ago.
So no improvements.
Right.
In the system itself.
He was getting the same results with the same actions, but nothing was like feeling exciting, and nothing was really moving.
Right.
And he thought he was being consistent. What do we preach all the time? Consistency.
Yeah, and so you got to give him that. He was being consistent.
He absolutely was being consistent. And consistency and momentum not the same things here, right? Not necessarily the same thing.
Yeah.
So from the outside, it was pretty clear which one he actually had to me, which was consistency, but not a ton of momentum in terms of discovering new things.
Okay.
So no alarm bells were going off. Everything looked pretty good and smelled pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And that was kind of the problem, because there was nothing broken. You kind of get numb to or get super comfortable with what's going on.
Right.
And I think that's what you're talking about with the research, where the companies that are falling behind aren't panicking. They feel good.
Yeah, it feels fine. It's continuing to work, and it's moving along, right?
I'm going to go off script a little bit here.
Oh, dear. Okay. And I was just about to make a point.
Sort of reminds me of those years between high school and when did that music become popular? Right? You get...
Yes. I thought we were in control of the music around here.
You get sort of used to your life the way it was at a certain point, and then you're like, all of a sudden, if you're like me, sometimes only for a minute, though this happened, I feel like the world passed me by for a minute. I'm like, holy smokes, what happened here? Right? Especially like the paradigm shift that happened during COVID was one of those that caught me off guard, where I was like,
absolutely.
I went back to work thinking everything was back to normal, and I hate this saying, but it was the new normal.
Yeah.
And it bugs me. Not because I'm looking to get comfortable. Maybe it was because I'm looking to get comfortable. Maybe so.
Maybe it is. Well, Stanford did research.
Okay.
Yeah.
And wait, Stanford did research?
Stanford did research. Believe it or not. Well, I looked at this research, and they found that companies spend billions of dollars in training people in their companies, but they had no change in behavior.
Yeah.
Okay? I think the reason for that is because knowledge without action doesn't wire in. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't do anything. Nothing changes unless you have action.
We say that all the time.
Right.
You have to get in the game. You can't sit on the sidelines and know the game plan front to back. That doesn't matter until you're actually in the game, right?
Right.
So you got to put some action behind it. And we often confuse taking in all that information with preparation. In a certain degree, to a certain degree, that is true.
Yeah, but the bottleneck is not in the information.
Yeah.
It's in the decision to move, and you have to do that before you feel like you're completely ready. You got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Got to go, as DW would say, right?
Points for anybody who knows who DW is or what is. Yeah. Okay. So, when's the last time you learned something that you already knew?
I feel like this is a trick question.
Kind of.
Because if I already knew it, I wouldn't be learning it.
Yeah,
I learned it the first time, but I will say, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I did know that. Yeah. Right? That does happen to me a lot.
That makes sense now that you say it. That sort of thing, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So that's what brings us to the next section here, which is about the experience level.
Yeah, and that experience can actually make you worse.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were doing a pre-read on this, and I've got some other principle I'm going to apply here because I think it applies. But there was this group that did some research. They're called the Zenger Folkman Group. Okay. And they study leadership effectiveness at scale, like thousands and thousands of people. And what they found was that effectiveness doesn't automatically climb with more experience. In fact, for a lot of people, it actually peaks somewhere in the middle of their career. And then you start to go down the other side of that hill, right?
So then all of a sudden, the more experience does not create more efficiency.
So there's this other thing called the Peter Principle, which is that same, I think, related. I haven't looked it up, but I think it might be related. And to me, this goes back to the whole, like, the music from my high school days was the best music ever.
Well, yeah. Right? I mean, wasn't it?
For everyone who was in high school at that time, right? Whatever the time was, that was the best music ever. And so that's like, for a lot of people, I mean, how often do they portray this in television shows where, like, people peak at 18, 19, 20, and they're down? I think in a professional career, it's a little bit later in your career.
A lot of times, sure.
But once you get comfortable, you're like that company that
athletes are early on, right, in their lives.
Different for athletes, I think.
Different,
right?
Yeah.
The brain doesn't decay that soon, you know.
Right, but the body does.
But the body does, which is why the athletes have a shorter career lifespan. Right. Usually.
So I interrupted you. You were saying that those companies.
I was going to say, unless you're Tom Brady, but.
Yeah, that guy, man.
I heard something the other day that he actually talked to the NFL about coming out of retirement. Recently.
Come on. No.
The NFL said they weren't interested.
I hope so. How many times have we seen quarterbacks come back or stay too long and it's just ugly. Don't be doing that.
That place, that game, that season when they get old, you can almost see it happening.
You can see it.
And it happened to Peyton Manning. All the love to Peyton Manning. A huge fan. But that last season with the Broncos, he knew it. Everyone knew it.
Yeah.
He was not going to come back and play anymore.
I'm glad it never happened to John Elway. He's still not old. Did you know that?
Yeah, sure. He's not old like I'm not old.
I'm not old.
Yeah. Anyway, it reminds me of these companies that think, they're in the comfort zone. They're coasting along in their comfort zone. Meanwhile, they're getting Ubered.
Right. And don't even realize it.
Because, and this is the same thing that is happening right now, I'm convinced, with technology in the AI space.
Really?
Yes. So if you are not keeping up with what's happening with the technology, you're going to get passed so fast, right?
Oh, yeah. Like people who were never able to do things people that can never able to do the things that you can do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're doing them better than you ever realized that could be done.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens when you're in your career, and you tend to get passed up, and you know, it's not that you even took your foot off the gas, or because you stopped caring. Excuse me. But at some point, you stop doing the thing that made you effective in the first place, which is, okay, now I got my job all figured out, so I can put my feet up, you know, sort of thing. And if you're not constantly being challenged, and that's why I love the Amazon business, because you cannot sit back and put your feet up in
Things
this business.
change. You got to keep up with what's going on today.
On the pivot, right?
Always.
There's a constant pivot going on, whether it's changing in policy, changing in approvals, changing in fulfillment.
And many of those changes are changes that happen to our benefit or that give us advantages. And if we miss those, everybody else is taking them. It's kind of like AI.
I was going to say, didn't I just say AI?
Yeah, everybody else is taking them. If you're not keeping up with that, you're going to get passed by.
And this is why it's really hard to catch it when it's actually happening, because you feel experienced, right?
Yeah.
You have the experience, you have the confidence, and nothing on the outside is saying, hey, you better pay attention.
Right.
I mean, it is, but you're not paying attention. Right? So
you're not aware of it.
So what you've actually done then is swapped out growth for momentum, because you've been cruising along and you think, oh, this is, momentum versus growth.
Right, exactly. And so it's just like we talked about in the very first part of this, which was those who are not growing or don't have that urgency for moving fast. They're unaware that they're not moving fast enough, right?
I see this a lot with people who are still playing by the 5-year-old map.
Yes.
And I say playing, running an Amazon business, teaching an Amazon business, even from an old school map.
Right.
Right.
It's not the same for people who are. I mean, talk about advantages. We've been doing some work recently on the advantages that a new seller in arbitrage today has that we didn't have 7 years ago when we started.
Yeah.
Things have changed in this platform in the last 2 or 3 years that make the whole game different and make it so much more winnable.
Which is one of the reasons we are called the Modern Builders Network.
Yes.
Right?
It's important.
So this is actually where your next piece comes in, because the research does take a turn here, and I didn't see it coming the first time I was reading through this.
Right. It's one of those things that's going to make you go, at least it made me go, oh yeah, now that you say that, that makes sense. Or, one of those, obviously, but I never could say it out loud. Okay, entrepreneurs who feel like imposters, they're often the ones that are still growing. So feeling like an imposter doesn't mean you're not growing.
To me, that means you're outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah, which means growth, right?
Yep.
Okay, here's the kicker. Real imposters don't feel like imposters. Okay, so compare it to that. That's the thing that make me go, duh.
Yeah, go back to
they're imposters.
Go back to what I was talking about with the coaching client who's been doing the same thing for a couple of years, feeling comfortable and confident, right? Coasting on what had worked before and totally miss the signals that the game has changed because they think they don't have to pay attention to that. Oh, I got it figured out now, right?
Yeah, feeling that uncertainty is what shows that you're still in the game and you're still growing.
Yeah. So question for everyone who's listening right now, what's something that you stopped questioning because you thought you had it all figured out?
Well, we see new sellers who want to get their systems down. I mean, when we encourage you, them
we absolutely do
get your systems down, or you're not gonna be here for very long. And it is very important, but they want to get it so down that they never have to worry about it again. They never want to touch it again. They want to figure out the key, lock it up, make it run with no changes. But what we need to put into those systems is steps that are continuous improvement steps. So like you said, look back every quarter or whatever and reevaluate. Make sure everything is still growing. Make sure there's not something more that you're not taking advantage of that you could be, or something that's not allowed anymore that you need to cut out. These continuous improvement steps are really important to be built into the system. So
that's what I was thinking. I didn't actually get it out in this recording, but we do this profit profile. I encourage everyone to do a profit profile, so an analysis on the profitability of their business every quarter. I know you're looking every day. If you use the seller board like we do, you're looking every day, and you're looking every month. And but that's just to make sure your day-to-day operations are working okay. There's not much strategic about that. But on a quarterly basis, we like to take a look at it more strategically.
Kind of pull out and see how all the pieces fit together, if they're fitting together.
Right. So we go, okay, what are we... so let's take a look at we got a larger book of business, so we can use the law of large numbers, and we can look at averages. And we can help determine what's working well, what's not working well, what new fees do we need to adjust for, right? Because there's always a new fee.
What's different about these new categories that we might have gotten into, or different suppliers? How's that working?
How is the DD plus 7 impacting my bottom line? Like today, there's a lot of people freaking out on the day that we're recording this.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that. Delivery date plus 7.
Well, apparently you're going to explain it.
Okay. No, you explain it. I just get irritated when you use...
I was going to go back and clean it.
Okay, go. Okay.
Delivery day plus 7.
I never get irritated. I love you, dear.
Yes, I know. It's our anniversary.
I have to be nice.
Delivery day plus 7 means that you don't get paid by Amazon until 7 days after delivery. And
then they might hold some after that.
Yes.
They don't even give you credit for it until then.
They used to disperse 50% of your funds that you earned on the day that they shipped it, and then the other remaining 50% 7 days after delivery. Now everything is plus 7 days after delivery. So and hopefully you still have daily payouts available to you. In fact, I think from what I was reading this morning, a lot of people got daily payouts turned on as a result of this.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the accounts I've been looking at, they have daily payouts turned on.
So,
they don't realize it sometimes. But...
Yes, exactly. They're like, well, I get paid every 2 weeks. Well, if you go in and take a look, you can actually pull a payment every day.
Yeah. It doesn't cost you anymore. There's no penalty for that.
Right. And I suggest that you do that.
At this point in time.
because you never know when something might happen.
Exactly.
And you want to have all the money that you can pulled out, right?
Right. Yeah. We don't wait.
We don't wait. No,
we don't wait.
We pull it every day. You've got to,
okay.
Not the same time every day, because you always forget by a few minutes and it goes around.
Yes, it's got to be 24 hours in between.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a little off there. Why were we talking about that?
Well, we were talking about the continuous improvement and how quarterly I like to get in there.
Something that could have changed and you didn't notice.
Exactly. So what I end up doing then is telling people, or not telling them, we work through it together, and I say what adjustments are we going to make for this quarter?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to measure again in a quarter, because you could make changes starting today or tomorrow, but you're not going to see the results of those for 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, right? So give it 6 to 8 weeks, and then 12 weeks gives it enough time to burn in so that when you measure the previous period, you can go, okay, how did that impact my business?
Okay, so that happens because, or you encourage that because confidence is an asset.
Yes.
Until it becomes an assumption.
Which is what we're talking about from the experience level. You think, think you got it all figured out.
Once you make it an assumption, then it starts, it can start eroding and you didn't even notice it.
So if experience by itself doesn't protect you, what does? And we've talked about information doesn't help you alone. Experience by itself doesn't help you either. Is there a magic bullet? Is there a panacea that could solve our problems for us?
Well, seldom is there a magic bullet, but there is. We told you before, there's something that can make both of those make a difference in both of those things. Okay, so nobody outthinks their surroundings for very long. Okay, think about what you've set up for yourself. Okay, the accountability is of your goal making, right? They have studies that say the goal achievement sits around 65% when you tell someone your goal, right? That's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. Better than if you don't tell anybody your goal, I guess.
Yeah, way better. But it jumps up to 95%-ish when you schedule a specific accountability appointment with your accountability partner.
Ding, ding, ding. Coaching anyone?
Yeah. That accountability, the clarity of the goal comes out, and I see this when people do the 6-week challenge, the sprint with us, and in the clarity of the goal gets so real. It's not, I want to do better. It's, I need to accomplish these things.
So what you're saying is that the difference between those who achieve their goals and those who don't isn't about intelligence or even motivation. It's the structure.
Yeah, the structure. What have I built around me that can help that go forward?
Yeah.
300 years before anybody ever said the word mastermind. Okay. Benjamin Franklin.
Back in the 1700s.
Back in the 1700s.
Well, thankfully there's somebody older than us.
That's right. We didn't live in the 1700s, but Ben Franklin did. And he was a great inventor, right? He built for himself a group of people. He invited a group of people, about 20 or 40 people maybe, and he brought them together. He called it a junto. Okay. This is a Spanish word for networking or something like that. Anyway, what they did, what he required before you could come in was you had to have a question. You don't come in with an answer. You come in with a question.
Okay.
The question is what builds growth. Dealing with the questions as a group and supporting each other and coming up with new ideas, that's what built progress.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And they were way ahead of their time. Benjamin Franklin, we know, was way ahead of his time. And these people, I'm sure, had something to do with it. But what he did was he set himself up a structure where the whole purpose of that environment was to help him grow. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was gorgeous.
It's great. So let me go back to what I said a minute ago, because I kind of spilled beans there.
Yeah.
But coaching and masterminds, right? They're not usually solely about information transfer.
Right.
I mean, we do a fair amount of that in coaching for sure.
Sure.
But I always encourage people to set me up as an accountability partner, which is one of the reasons that we assign action items / homework at the end of every coaching session. Right?
Exactly. And we make a plan for the next session.
We make a plan for the next session, and your number one piece of homework is to schedule your next session.
Yes,
right?
That's the first thing. Get off this call, go schedule your next session.
Yeah.
Because it slips away. It slips away.
So when you get into coaching, or when you're getting into a mastermind, just be conscious of what you're actually building there, which is the structure,
right,
to achieve your goals 95% of the time.
Right.
As opposed to 65% of the time if you just tell me about it. And I don't know what percentage of the time if you don't even say it out loud.
Well, probably not very high, I wouldn't think. So most entrepreneurs are trying to outwork their environment. And they could be just redesigning their environment to work for them instead of trying to outrun it. Right?
Set yourself up for success. What do we say? Stack the deck in your favor.
Stack the deck in your favor. That's it right there.
Yeah.
That's right.
So the people who move the fastest tend to be the ones who stop trying to figure it out all by themselves. Right? And then we see this. There's a lot of lone wolves out there.
There are.
Right?
And there are some successful ones. Absolutely.
Yes, but I think they're the exception.
Yeah.
That's why it's called lone wolf.
Yeah, and a lot of times I think it could have been easier for them if they weren't by themselves.
Oh, 100%. I have no doubt that it will be. But some people just do not play well with others.
This is true. Now,
all right, so what we've talked about here
nobody's ever said that about me.
Yes. I know of a shirt that you have that says how you do play well with others. Anyway, this is, let's just bring this home with the 3 points we're talking about. Information.
Yeah.
Actually can slow you down, doesn't make you faster. More experience can actually make you worse. So let me just rephrase that. More information can make you slower. More experience can make you less effective. Mm-hmm. But the environment beats the individual every time. Every time.
So information, experience, and individual effort are all real assets. But none of them tend to scale the way the good environment that you've built for yourself can.
Got it. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Brian, do you have a quote for us today?
I do have a quote for us today. We've quoted this person before, Winston Churchill. He's quoted a lot.
Yep.
And it's because he had some
the American Englishman.
Yes, some very wise things to say. Here's the quote this week. We shape our buildings, and thereafter they shape us.
Oh, yeah. That's true, because we have to move within them. Once we make the buildings, we have to move within them.
I mean, theoretically, they're designed the way that we want to move.
Right.
But then we don't have the ability to grow and think outside that building because we're just so used to, being in that space.
I think that's part of the point, though, is that if we can build in a way that allows us to keep redesigning, then we can keep growing as we use those things.
Yep.
All right. Good.
Okay.
So if you're feeling like you're stuck, if you're feeling like your business is just kind of there, it's not growing, it's just not moving along, what is it that you do?
First of all.
What cures that?
First of all, get a mastermind and a coach.
Yes, and that's a good idea.
Get some accountability partners. And then go test some more ASINs.
Thanks, everybody. Let's go test some more ASINs.
We'll talk to you soon.